This is the Barbecue Central Radio Show, which is recorded live each Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
The Barbecue Central Radio Show is being brought to you by The Barbecue Guru, the original creators of automatic temperature control devices, now offering 4 different models for you to choose from. Rest easy knowing that The Barbecue Guru is controlling your pit temperature so you can get on with your life. Visit bbqguru.com or call 800-288-GURU for more information. And by Fred's Music and Tasty Licks BBQ Supply, your online barbecue and grilling superstore. From cookers to grills, wood chips and chunks, and everything in between. Also be sure to try the Tasty Licks barbecue brand of rubs and sauces. Check Fred out online at tastylicksbbq.com. And by Stephen DeFranco Jewelers. Located in beautiful Willoughby, Ohio, Stephen DeFranco Jewelers is a family-owned and operated business looking to service the great folks of the barbecue and grilling world. Get free shipping and big discounts by mentioning my name and the term Barbecue Brother. Check out their inventory by visiting StephenDeFranco.com. And by Butcher Barbecue, with 30 years of experience in retail, wholesale, meat markets, food service, and customer service. Using that experience, everything they do and sell at Butcher's Barbecue comes from real-world knowledge. Check out their award-winning spices, sauces, marinades, and injections by visiting ButcherBBQ.com. Always trust your butcher.
And by iGrill. The iGrill is a Bluetooth-enabled cooking thermometer that allows you to monitor the temperature of your food and smoker or grill from up to 200 feet away. Using the free iGrill app for your iPhone, iPad, and Android devices, you can set preferred temperatures, and your smart device will alert you when it's ready. It's perfect for cooking steaks to perfection or low and slow smokers overnight. Head to iGrill Inc., that's the letter I, grillinc.com to learn more. And by Barbecuer's Delight Wood Pellets, the barbecue wood pellet choice of competition cooks and backyard hacks just like me. The perfect blend of 2/3 oak and 1/3 flavor wood gives you that right BTU burn and flavor that you're looking to get all over your meat with smoky goodness. Visit bbqrsdelight.com. And by R&O Smokers, a custom pit builder using innovation and art in each of their cutting-edge, offset, and vault-style barbecue pits. Located in the heart of Texas near Fort Worth, Granbury has been the home to R&O Smokers since the beginning. R&O Smokers has continued to widen its range using visionary planning both on the design level and the quality of craftsmanship to bring their customers the finest custom pits on the market. Please get in contact with Billy, BILLIE _RO Smokers at yahoo.com or Tony at Tony _RO Smokers at yahoo.com or visit their main website, the letter O, RNO Smokers.com. And by Green Mountain Grills. Discover something you're really going to love. Cooking with pellets. Green Mountain Grills are widely available across the country. Top-of-the-line manufacturing, but not the highest in price. Visit greenmountaingrills.com to get started on your pellet adventure today.
Show.com. And here's what's happening in case you didn't get the newsletter coming up in about 13 minutes from now or so. A new friend of the show, becoming a staple, a regular, if you will, to the show, an icon in the industry. Multiple-time author, TV show host, cooking school instructor, just to name a few things. Stephen Reichland joins us. BarbecueBible.com creator. And then around 9:35, also a cooking blog person, creator, if you will. The Grill Girl, Robin Lindars, joins us here on the show. Then we'll move into the second hour. A couple different things happening in the 10 o'clock hour. Joining me right around the 10:14 time frame area, a guy who's got a very unique product, and it's good. It's a very unique product, something that you might want to consider. Maybe some of you already have it and are enjoying it, but if you want to take the inside cooking to the outside on the grill and you want a neat cooking appliance to do that, Ed Hamlin, Grill Innovations. Of course, he made the grill plate very famous a couple years back now, well, more than a couple. And it's been going strong ever since, and we'll kind of check in with Ed, see what he's up to. He was also at the World Food Championships a couple weeks ago and has seen some accolades in various cooking-type competitions, not necessarily barbecue-related, but Ed is obviously a barbecue and grilling guy at heart and has been doing very good things with his inventions, the grill plate, the griddle thing as well. So we'll talk to Ed about that. And then right around 10:35, figured it was about game time again, so we're going to resurrect athlete or porn star for your chance to win iGrill Mini, and secondarily a holiday gift box from Dizzy Pig. So look forward to that. Dave Bosca's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Trust your butcher. Dave likes when you ask questions in the chat room about butcher stuff because, he's got expertise in that area and he's able to lend a hand while, lending other hands to other people. I don't even know what that means. So that's what you have on tap for tonight. Steven Reichlin, Robin Lindars, Ed Hamlin, and then game shows to close out the second hour, or the show, if you will. Me coming out of the bullpen, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, since you're watching or listening, if you could do me a solid and make a Facebook post or a Twitter tweet on the tweeter and let everybody know that you are listening or watching the show. A couple different places to direct those people to. If you know it's audio only that they would prefer, just send them over to my website, thebbqcentralshow.com. Don't forget the in the very front of that. If you know they like the video side of things, OutdoorCookingChannel.com has been the host of the live feed for years and years now. If you know that they have Roku, tell them to go to the Roku App Store, download the Outdoor Cooking Channel app, and then watch the live feed right from their luxurious high-definition television. Heyo. Various ways to consume the show, and you don't want to miss out on one bit of it. Not even one bit. If you missed the show last Wednesday, what we affectionately refer to now as the Hump Day Barbecue Show, we had the good Dr. Ray Lampe. He makes a weekly appearance on that show. It's called Ask Dr. Barbecue. So a lot of the show, we were asking him about his time at the World Food Championships. He was a celebrity judge or an expert judge or an expert celebrity judge in that respect, and kind of gave us a unique look into how it went down from his perspective, how the turn-ins were. I don't know if in the end we have found some type of discrepancy on how the turn-ins were calculated because, a week ago we were talking at the end of Tuesday's show with George Shore and Pitmaker, and they won the barbecue portion of World Food Championships and then came in second overall to Porky McBeef and the Cluckers, Dave Elliott, who we had on the show this past Wednesday. And in the end, Brisket lost to Carrot Cake. And from George's point of view, and I wasn't there, I'm just here to lend open forum, if you will. From George's aspect, turn-ins were done a lot quicker in the preliminary rounds. Judges were able to taste, maybe not fresh off the grill, but within minutes of it being turned in, it was being evaluated. And then final table was held on to an hour or so, or whatever the case may be. And they turned in brisket. And, it's like with anything. At some point, the product is going to degrade over time. And then, here you are going up against something that is absolutely succulent at room temperature, which is going to be like a cake or a pie, unless it's a frozen pie. Then it's probably not going to do too well. But it was a carrot cake. So, carrot cake happens to be pretty damn good at room temperature, less than room temperature, above room temperature. Brisket is going to suffer. So while, as Ray was saying, the half chicken might have saved them and allowed them to do that big leapfrog from 9th to 1st overall, because it's a bigger piece and holds heat, so maybe they were able to get some of that heat on the chicken taste. Maybe it backfired in the end. And, I mean, who knows? I don't know if it's explained, hey, at the final table, your product's going to be sitting around a lot longer than in preliminary rounds or whatever the case may be, and you better make your adjustments accordingly. Uh-oh. I'm getting an email here. All right, yeah, that's no problem. So as Dave Bosca says, welcome to television. Yeah, I mean, this is what it's all about. First and foremost, it's a television show now. Got a lot of things going on there that you need to tend to. And then, the food competition takes place, not secondarily, but around the TV part of it. A lot of things going on in TV these days. Just, check it out. See what you think. And then we talked with Dave Elliott, who gave us his take on the whole thing. And Dave Elliott, a competition barbecue team, they don't, really rip up the circuit, if you will, with like 30, 40 competitions. They do a good handful. And they got in by winning a dessert category at a barbecue competition. Didn't think that they were going to get out to the World Food Championships at all. Schedules kind of lined up and made it out there. Really didn't give himself a lot of chance to make it through preliminary rounds. Next thing you know, he's changing flights twice. He's at the final table, and was it Dr. Sweet Smoke or Second City Smoke or something like that with the burgers? And then it was Pitmaker, and then it was Porky McBeef and the Cluckers, all competitive barbecuers. Top three right there at the very end of the World Food Championships. So, as far as an industry is concerned, nice little pat on the back there. But in the end, Carrot Cake wins out. What can I tell you? Now, don't forget, if you missed, that show last week or the whole week last week, Tuesday and Wednesday, you can subscribe to the show on the iTunes video for YouTube. Also, Outdoor Cooking Channel has video replays as well. Of course, the main Barbecue Central website for replays as well, both video and audio. So never reason that you should miss anything ever on this show in the history of ever. If it happened on this show, there's various ways to get down and get at it. And darn it, don't tell me you can't get a hold of it. So I know you're just joshing me. As we get ready for Stephen Reichland coming up out of the break, don't forget we have Robin Lindars coming up as well. And I do want to make sure that, and we'll maybe get into this more in the second hour, people are asking me now, are you doing interviews for KCBS Board of Directors? I'm thinking about running, or I know somebody that might be running. Are you going to be doing the interviews again? Absolutely. I'll be making a post on the Facebook, also on the Twitter. Let everybody know that if you are looking for re-election, or you're running again, or you're your first-time candidate, and you want to get on an impartial forum right here, we'll get into that probably a little bit more in the second hour. Just remember, if you come on the show, odds are very good you're going to get elected. So don't come on the show if you really don't want to get elected. I'm not saying it happens all the time. I'm just saying if you go back through the annals, the archives of hopefuls that have been on this show, a lot more have been voted in than been voted off the island.
Stuff out of here.
All right, before we get to Steven, let me talk to you about the Barbecue Guru, automatic pit temperature control device creators of technology. And why would you go anywhere else if you're going to be looking for something like this? Now, maybe you're not familiar with how these things work. I'm going to hip you to that just really quickly, and I'm not going to get into the minute details, but imagine a device that when you set a pit temperature, controls it all the way through the cook. You are now free to do whatever it is you want to do. You can throw in some butts, some ribs, some briskets, some chickens, a lot of everything. Set that pit temperature, and then boom, you're off to do whatever it is you need to get done. Maybe you're a busy working professional, so you're putting it on before you go to work, or maybe you're just a busy parent, trucking the kids around to various sports things, attending conferences, what have you. And you just don't have the ability to hassle around with the pit temperatures. That's why they make the Barbecue Guru. It's not cheating. It's just convenience. And help yourself with the convenience, right? Absolutely. You can go to thebbqguru.com. That's thebbqguru.com. You can call them toll-free, 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU. And then ask away. Sometimes ordering this type of technology can be a little bit intimidating. A bunch of different choices as far as Guru models to choose from, different fan sizes. When you talk to somebody there through email or through the phone, they're going to make sure you're outfitted with exactly what you need to get you up and running right out of the box. They're professionals, and they are experts at all of this stuff. Plus, if you're looking for a cooker, why not pair that new automatic pit temperature control device from the Barbecue Guru with the Onyx oven? Doing very well in competition still, doing very well in backyards as well. Ton of capacity, holds the half and the full pans, Great for competition, great for catering, great for the backyard guy, and of course works seamlessly with the Guru control devices as well. So again, 800-288-GURU or thebbqguru.com. The Barbecue Guru, a breakthrough in barbecue technology. All right, we will be back with Steven Raichlen right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back, 877-448-0433. You can also email the show if you want to. My first guest tonight, a multiple-time best-selling author, a TV show host, a barbecue and grilling class instructor, amongst many other things. You can also find him here on this show about once a month, and I'm always excited to talk live fire with this guy. What? Yeah, all right, hold on a second. Little issue gathering up, Steve.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Tell me to call the Selly Cell. I'm going to call the Selly Cell. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get my thing just right here, and we're going to go from there. I'm always excited to talk a little live fire cooking with a guy who is in charge of BarbecueBible.com, who has penned really some of the most successful barbecue and grilling books. If you look at it in terms of, man, his picture is way bigger than mine. Let's go ahead and welcome back to the show, Steven Raichlen, ladies and gentlemen. Steven, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing great, Steven. I appreciate you making time tonight. And, as we know, Steven, Thanksgiving well on its way, no doubt about it. And you're well known in the industry as a great cooker, obviously author as well. And I know you're someone who really likes to dig into the history of things so you can get kind of that full scope of the subject matter as you're tackling it. If I might ask you to kind of put that professor's hat on for just a few minutes, and maybe you could tell us a bit about this bird we eat in November. Turkey seems like an odd name if you really stop to think about it, doesn't it?
Well, it is odd that the bird we eat for Thanksgiving is named for a Muslim country in the Middle East. But in fact, it was a question of cagey marketing and geographic confusion. The turkey is actually native to the Americas. It was domesticated by the Mayans in the Yucatan Peninsula. There were wild turkeys in North America, and the turkey did not exist in Europe. So when it was brought back to Europe as an exotic foodstuff, the merchants that brought it back figured they would label it in a manner that would excite people and make them willing to pay a lot of money for it. And at the time, Istanbul was the spice and food and trade capital of Europe. All the exotic foods from the Near East and India came through Istanbul. So by labeling turkey the turkey bird, it sort of gave the bird the cachet that, if we say today that something comes from Tuscany or France, it had a similar cachet. Now, English isn't the only language that uses that metaphor. In France, you call a turkey a dinde, D-I-N-D-E, which is a contraction for and or from India. And likewise, in Scandinavian languages and in Dutch, the local word for turkey is a corruption of Calcutta, Calicut. So the idea is that it's a bird that came from somewhere exotic, and actually anywhere but from the region where it really came.
It's interesting. I was going to say, if it was just found out today, you think, from what I understand, this instead of turkey, we might be eating something called Tuscany or Paris.
Yeah, right,
Wow.
exactly.
How weird would that be right now?
But I mean, the great age of discovery. Columbus did not set forth to discover a new world. He set forth to find an inexpensive route to find spices, which were the most valuable commodity of their age. And he wanted to find a cheaper, faster, less expensive route to get there. So in a sense, trade has always trade has been the engine of history in a way that we don't necessarily learn in history books.
Stephen Reichlin joining me here on the show. Visit barbecuebible.com if you want to check out what Stephen's up to while we're talking here a little bit tonight. Stephen, if I was lucky enough to get an invite to the Reichlin household for Thanksgiving this year, what kind of a menu am I in for?
It's going to be very eclectic and very international. And starting with our bird, this year I'm sort of doing a march down memory lane. After I graduated from college with a degree in French literature, I actually went and lived in France for a couple of years, working on a research grant to study the history of cooking, and in particular medieval cooking. And one of the things I did when I lived in Paris was I attended a cooking school called La Varenne. And the idea was I was sort of up to my eyeballs in all these medieval cookery manuscripts. I had visited castle and monastery kitchens, and I wanted to go to a modern French cooking school to sort of understand the process of cooking so I could read the recipes and extrapolate back. And I learned during that year a very singular method for preparing a turkey. And that is, you worm first a finger and then a couple of fingers, then your whole hand under the skin of the turkey. And you loosen the skin from the body. And then in France, they would place very thin slices of what's called barding fat. It's thin slices of salt pork, in effect, and super thin slices of black truffle under the bird. Now, the idea is what happens when you roast a turkey. In order to get a safe temperature in the thighs, you almost invariably overcook the breast. Mm-hmm. So by putting these strips of fat under the skin of the turkey, you humidify and moisturize the breast. So we're going to be doing that this year. We're going to be doing it with truffle butter, not with strips of lard and black truffles. And that's kind of the centerpiece. It's my mentor just published her memoirs and sort of evoked the opening of that school where that I attended at the very beginning. But then things really start to get interesting. We'll be doing an oyster stuffing in the style of New England. We're going to kick up the heat with the cranberry sauce. It's going to be a cranberry salsa. There'll be a smoked potato pie, and then sweet potato pie. And then because this year Thanksgiving coincides with Hanukkah, I'm going to try something I've never done before, but I'm going to smoke potatoes and then use those to make latkes, which are potato pancakes.
Huh. I guess I didn't know. I mean, I'm not Jewish, I guess, but I didn't know that the two holidays were kind of intermingling this year.
Well, they don't often, but the Jewish calendar evolves on a lunar schedule, and the American calendar is on a solar schedule. So the holidays sort of jump around, and usually Hanukkah is closer to Christmas, but this year it overlaps with Thanksgiving.
All right, Stephen, let me ask you a question. This isn't one that I had outlined, but I'm going to show my ass here a little bit and the lack of my experienced palate as far as taste and flavor is concerned. I hear truffle all the time, truffle oil, truffle this, truffle that. I mean, I have no idea what that actually tastes like. Is that like a rich thing, a savory, a sweet thing? I just don't know what it is.
Okay. Well, that's a great question, because if you're wondering, probably many people are. So a truffle is a subterranean fungus, and historically there were sort of two basic families of truffles. There's a black truffle that was found in the southwest of France, and then a white truffle that was found in the Piedmont region in Italy. And Both of them are incredibly aromatic. One uses words to sort of approach the flavor without quite getting there, but musky, aromatic, pungent, earthy, perfumed, haunting. When you've tasted a really good fresh truffle, there is nothing like it. I mean, sort of think the funky earthiness of mushrooms, but given a graduate degree. That sort of gets you in the ballpark.
All right. Well, now I know, and I'll be looking out to actually taste one.
And by the way, the world of truffles has grown mightily. I mean, now a lot of the truffles even sold in Italy and France actually come from Eastern Europe. Croatia is a big truffle producer. Kosovo is a big truffle producer. Truffles are found in the Pacific Northwest. And I actually manufacture truffle butter under my Planet Barbecue line, which is available on a website called earthy.com. And that's what we're going to be using for this Thanksgiving turkey. But, this technique, and maybe some of your listeners have used it, it's really cool, this idea of loosening the skin, because you can do it with chickens. You loosen the skin from the bird, and then you can place all sorts of interesting flavors. Truffles, obviously, fresh herbs, butter under the skin. Great way to add flavor and moisture.
Stephen Reichlin,
to a bird.
Stephen Reichlin joining us here on the show. BarbecueBible.com is website. Stephen, in regards to like a preparation or a function of preparation, inevitably brining comes up. So I guess a couple different part question here. A, are you a fan of it? And I guess up until a few years ago, this was like one of the most popular things to do, especially for the birds that weren't enhanced already at the plant. Do you still brine, or have you taken to this injecting like so many others have over the last year or so?
I'm a briner. I do brine. I brine almost every year. The advantage of brining, I mean, just sort of quick high school chemistry lessons. So a brine is a saturated saline solution. And when you put a turkey in a brine, my basic brine, by the way, it's roughly 1 cup salt, 1 cup sweetener like sugar or maple syrup, and 1 gallon of water, and usually some bourbon wanders into the preparation too. But when you place a turkey in a brine by the process of osmosis, there's an equalization process, and that is the meat wants to draw in some of that salty, saturated liquid, and that's what makes the flesh taste moist and also a little salty. Now, brining can be overdone, and it's a little bit like I think when people first discovered they brine everything, and at the end of a couple of weeks, and everything you make starts tasting like deli meat. But brining used judiciously with inherently dry foods like turkey, pork chop is a great thing to brine. It really is a great aid. I have also injected turkeys. I mean, in fact, I manufacture an injector. But I think overall, with brining, you get a more even penetration of the flavor and sort of a more even penetration of the moisture. But I think you're probably gathering by now. For me, life is all about variety, and I don't think I have ever done the same turkey twice in the last 40 years that I've been cooking turkey. I've never done it the same way twice. I mean, an alternative, we do it on the rotisserie. We've done it on a beer can. We've spatchcocked turkeys. We've brined turkeys, injected turkeys. For me, what's really interesting is just trying a new one every year.
Stephen Reichlin joining me here on the show. Perhaps one of the best parts of Thanksgiving is leftovers, Stephen. So, do you have any good recommendations on what to do with those items that don't get stuffed in your face the first time around?
Oh, I sure do. And in fact, on BarbecueBible.com, we've got a recipe for my turkey hash made the day after Thanksgiving, preferably when your wife and daughters have gone off on Black Friday shopping and left you at home to enjoy the leftovers. But, that, and I'm going to assume that most of your listeners will have smoked their turkeys this year. So, when you make a turkey stock or broth out of a smoked turkey carcass, I mean, one sip of that and the skies open up and the angels sing Hosanna.
So turkey hash for sure. In regards to, and I think this is kind of a unique fact, and you kind of hit me to this a little bit earlier today, but as far as highest per capita turkey consumption during the course of the whole year, is the U.S. tops on that?
Did I tell you the answer to that already?
No, you didn't. You just kind of, you teased it.
So take a guess.
Highest turkey consumption is going to be, I would guess, Canada.
Okay, well, interesting. Why would you guess Canada?
They're close to us, and I think that they like to do a lot of what Americans like to do.
Yeah. Actually, it's Israel. And
really?
That may seem like you'd never expect it, and yet if you're in Israel and you go to any of the innumerable shawarma joints that dot the cities and countrysides, shawarma is that vertical roast. It's known as doner in Turkey or gyro in Greece. And it's basically thin strips of meat, in Israel very often turkey, seasoned with Middle Eastern spices, impaled on a vertical spit and roasted in an upright position. And then it's carved in downward strokes with a big knife onto pita bread. And you serve it with a variety of Middle Eastern salads and hot sauce. And it's sort of one of the world's great grilled fast foods. And the traditional meat for shawarma was lamb, but more and more Israelis are eating it made with turkey. Why? It's lighter. It's less fatty. And in fact, in Planet Barbecue, I give a recipe for it. It took a lot of tinkering to figure out how to get the same effect, because the beauty of this vertical rotisserie is in the downward carving, every bite you take is a crispy end cut, because it roasts from the outside in. So finally what I did is took thin slices of turkey, direct grilled them, piled them up, and sliced them, and you get that same effect. But Israel is actually the largest per capita consumer of turkey on an annual basis. Notice I said annual because I'm sure on a single day basis, the United States has everybody beat.
Yeah, but it's only maybe a couple days a week or a couple days a year. It's Thanksgiving, and then some people turn back around and do a Christmas turkey as well.
Sure.
Last question before I let you go, Stephen. As soon as November 29th hits, it's going to be like full-blown rush into Christmas. And I'm wondering, are you a tad disappointed in business that this Black Friday thing has now actually wormed its way into Thanksgiving Day, with many of the top stores out there going to actually be open Thursday evening?
Yeah, I think that's really awful. I mean, it's a trend I've noticed just sort of as in the last few years. But, I think there's certain holidays that just ought to stay holidays, and stores should be closed, and the people that work there should have the day off. And the thought that, legions of people are going to have to flood into stores on Thanksgiving evening at 6 o'clock when some of us are just sitting down to dinner, I mean, that's just consumerism and capitalism gone haywire.
I absolutely agree. We're talking with Stephen Reichlin. You can find him at barbecuebible.com. Stephen, always appreciate the time, and you and yours have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
To you too. Take care.
All right, take care. There he is. Stephen Reichlin, barbecuebible.com. Man, oh man. I don't know if we covered it last week, but I can't believe that we are getting a Thanksgiving is being influenced. I remember a couple weeks ago when I was talking with Meathead, and every year that Meathead is on to talk about his Thanksgiving Day segment, he always goes on the big, Thanksgiving is great and it's truly American, and I agree with all of that stuff, and I always counter or add to his point that that seems to be one of the only holidays that seems to miss out on all of this other commercialism and mean, you don't really see a lot. I mean, when was the last time you saw a Thanksgiving commercial? I haven't seen one at all this year. I mean, granted, I don't watch a huge amount of television, but you're seeing more commercials for Christmas already than you are seeing for Thanksgiving. And to have Black Friday bleed into Brown Thursday or whatever the hell they're going to call it, I think that's kind of crappy. I think the people that are going to be forced into working Thursday night, that's kind of crappy for them. Although, some people, they want to work and it doesn't really matter. Maybe they don't have a lot of things going on and it's going to be skeleton staff. But, whatever the case may be, there's going to be a lot of major retailers that are going to be open on Thursday evening, like early evening. So are you readjusting? Here's the question of the day on Tuesday. Are you readjusting your eating plans Thanksgiving Thursday to get out there and shop so you don't have to do it on Friday, which I hate anyway, with a passion. I hate doing that Black Friday bullshit. I don't even think it really has the same cachet as it used to 10 years ago. You're not saving anything. You're going to get run over, beat down for a $5 free keychain at the Best Buy. You got to be kidding. All right, folks, let me talk to you quickly about a guy who you might want to consider using one of his products for Thanksgiving. It's Dave Bosco, Butcher Barbecue. The website, butcherbbq.com. And here's the deal. Maybe you have been tinkering with some other commercially made injections, and you have found that towards the end of the year, your scores started to stumble if you're a competitor. Maybe you've noticed that if you're a backyard guy like me, the hearty hand clasps and high fives became less and less. Couldn't quite put your finger on it, but then you realize, well, damn it, I started using somebody else's commercial injection and evidently not going over as well as I thought. Plus, I can see it on the score sheets now. Damn it! No problem. Head on over to butcherbbq.com. That's butcherbbq.com. And click on the trade-in link at the very top right of the navigation. And then print that slip off. Send back whatever you have in its natural packaging to David. And once he gets it, he will weigh it. All of his weights are final. And once he comes up with that weight determination, in return, he will send you back the pork injection, the beef injection, the prime injection, or the bird booster. It's your request. Nothing is off limits. We can still get Bird Booster out this week if you are looking to cook straight from David's mouth. Here in the chat. If you're listening tomorrow on podcast, don't worry. Shipping will happen. Post haste, from what I understand. So look, don't be pissed because you got jammed up by another injection. Before in the past, you were stuck with it. Maybe you spent $50 on it or $70 on it. And 60 of it is still sitting on your barbecue table somewhere. Your wife is pissed because she knows you could have took her out for a date, maybe a drink. Maybe you could have had a little hanky-panky time. No, not anymore. Now you can. You can send it to Dave. He'll send you back the stuff in return. You can say, hey, honey, the scores are going up. The prize money's coming up. The high fives and hearty hand clasps from the neighbors are coming back. Things are great. Now let's go get busy. Yeah. My room, 5 minutes. I'm going to give you the best 30 seconds you'll never mention again. It's butcherbbq.com. That's butcherbbq.com. Always trust your butcher. We're back with the Grill Girl right after this. Stick around.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Big B, Moonshine Band, Suburban Voice Records. Let's go! I'm an outlaw. Give me 2 shots. We don't need a radio. Bring a jukebox.
877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Those are the 2 ways to get in touch with me should you see fit tonight. All right, my next guest has created a stellar food blog out there on the internet. So that's the wrong button right there. We race over to the hotline. And welcome Robin Lindars, the Grill Girl. Robin, how are you?
Hey, Greg.
How are you?
What was that picture you just showed of me? That was really embarrassing.
Well, that's not you.
Is that
That's
like your basement bathroom or what?
That's the guest chair. You see? That's where the guest would sit. Currently, there are 0 guests in the studio. But that's all right. Maybe someday there'll be a guest sooner than... All right, now, hold on a second. What happened here? Let me grab your picture here. So, Robin, like, what's new with the website before we get into all the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight? What's new with the website?
Oh, it's always a busy time. I used to think grilling season kind of slowed down, but now it kind of picks up with tailgating season and the holidays. And I've been going in a paleo direction lately. And I've got all these contributing writers. So it's actually really busy. Doing a site redesign soon, and also doing a lot of giveaways for the holidays. So I'm actually going to be doing a tailgating giveaway with Vlasic Pickles for I'll probably post it tomorrow or the day after for like a cooler, and it's their new kind of home style, country style pickles, and a Walmart gift card to buy pickles, blah blah blah. So if you're into tailgating, it's like a free chair and actually a pretty nice cooler. So just lots of little stuff going on. I have a partnership with Visa and the Pork Board, and maybe thinking about a cookbook next year. So never a dull moment, right?
Did you say Visa?
Yes,
like the credit card.
Yes, like the card you spend money on. They have a big. They sponsor the NFL, and they're all about getting people involved with this tailgating contest they have called Football Fantasy, where you can submit to win like a massive whatever you want based if you win the contest. So gets people all excited. So I'm hoping to spread the word.
That sounds very exciting. Now, you had mentioned something called paleo.
Yes.
I have no idea what that is. So you're into it. It sparked your attention. What's paleo, and what do we need to know about?
So as you know, Greg, I've always kind of been into trying to limit carbs because, me, I'm a party girl. I like my wine, and everyone always asks me, how do you stay so small? You're cooking all the time. And I try to keep it to like lean vegetables, or lean proteins, lots of veggies, just pretty healthy, And so I've kind of embarked on this paleo kick and the concept, it's actually somewhat trendy around a lot of the people who are doing CrossFit, which is kind of a workout craze right now. But a lot of it is just about eating whole foods and foods that agree with your body for just like optimal health and optimal fitness. So it's kind of doing a lot of the stuff I was already doing, but just being a little bit more focused on getting the right kind of fats for your body, the right kind of proteins, eating, really just being more conscious about what you put in your body and stuff that's good for you.
Robin Lindar is joining us here on the show. You can visit her website, grillgirl.com. That's Grill, like what we cook on, and then girl, Grrrl. Let me back it up just for 1 second here, Rob. Maybe for the people that are just hearing you for the first time, or they haven't gone all the way back to the archives of when you were first on the show. Is there a ghost in the room?
My husband just poked his head in. I
think
he's
God.
Listening tonight, which he never does. And Stephen Reichel was on tonight, and we're like,
shout out Scott.
No, Stephen Reichel.
Screw Reichel, man. I'm on. You kidding me? All right.
Exactly.
So so maybe people haven't gone like all the way back to the archives the first time you were on the show. So if we could just reset just for a second. Why did you find or founded the website, and why the spelling like
Quite simply, I wanted the regular spelling of grillgirl.com, and it was taken. So there you go. I've tried to broker it out with the website negotiating and all that good stuff. And the guy who has that URL refuses to sell. And when I initially started, he's kind of a jackass.
The guy that has grillgirl.com? Yeah, great. In a related story, I have I'mAHotChick.com. Not really.
Yeah, I mean, he's waiting for a landmine on this URL. So I've tried to buy it, but when I first went to go create my blog, so I originally started a blog one night. I had a couple glasses of Chardonnay, and as you know, I love to cook, and I have a writing degree, and it was like something happened after a couple glasses of Chardonnay, and I've always done a little freelance writing on the side, and blogging was kind of the new thing, and I thought I'd try it. And around the same time, I had just bought now he's my husband, Scott, a new grill. And I've always liked to grill. And, over time I'd had boyfriends that would grill and then we'd break up. And I just eventually taught myself how to grill. I didn't need a guy to teach me. So Scott had this piece of crap grill that I almost singed my eyebrows off on one night. And I decided to get him a new grill for his birthday. And then I kind of took it over. And around the same time I'd started a blog, and it was called culinarylifeadventures.blogspot.com. And it morphed into Grill Girl with 3 R's, kind of like the punk rock version.
There you go. Now it's grillgirl.com. I mean, in the end, probably, way cooler than just grillgirl.com, I suppose. But, I still don't understand why a guy is holding on to that website like tooth and nail. It's lame.
Yeah, kind of and I know you have a somewhat kid-friendly show, but he's kind of a douchebag, if I can say it. You can beat me out later. But, you know what? But Grill Girl works for me. I've search engine optimized myself. Sometimes I'm feeling like the triple R kind of girl, so it works. I'm over stressing about it.
So we were talking to Steven Reich a little bit ago, and he was talking about Thanksgiving. He was giving us a history lesson about why turkey was named turkey, and how he's truffle. I've never had truffle. Now with you, we're talking spatchcock turkey.
Right.
This is like this is your deal for 2013. What the hell year are we in? 2013. Is the 2013 the year of the spatchcock turkey for Robin Lindars in the house?
Yeah, well, Greg, I've spatchcocked a lot of things. If you look kind of in the history of my blog, I've got a lot of spatchcock chicken recipes. And before I did chicken, I had done Cornish game hens, which are really just like small chickens. And I guess turkey is just one I've been working up to. But for the past 2 years, I've done like the beer can turkey on the big green egg with what's called the sit-in chicken or the sit-in turkey. Basically it's just the beer can holder, but for the big green egg. And that's fine and great and all, but I just want to try something different this year. And then I was looking at Chris from Nibble Me This, his blog, and he had this really kick-ass orange bourbon brined spatchcock turkey that he cooked on the pit barrel. And I was like, oh my God, I have to try this. And I did, and it was amazing. And so I kind of did my own rendition of that, and it was a big hit. And it's way less time in your oven, and it frees up space for all that other stuff you have to cook for Thanksgiving. Yes. So I think it's a win-win.
So that was my next couple questions so first, are you cooking like multiple? Do you go like the smaller bird and multiple? Or do you just go one big-ass bird, and then is it outside on the grill then, obviously?
Well, Greg, this is kind of I've only done one turkey before, so this is not new to me too. I mean, I have a family down here in Florida. I'm either going to someone else's house and we'll do a bigger turkey, and this is like my first spatchcock. So I did like a 10-pound turkey, which was like perfect for 4 people. So that's what I'm doing. I think the larger the bird, the larger the scale, and the more time and effort that probably has to go into it. But what I do is I really get my hands dirty, and I make a compound butter with fresh herbs, and I have Meyer lemons growing in my backyard right now. So I was using those, and I made a compound butter, and you just take that and you've got to get all this butter underneath the skin. But when you do that, basically you have all this butter, moisturizing this turkey while it cooks. So it turns out fantastic. And then you can see the little pieces of herbs underneath the skin, so you have this really pretty presentation. I think it's impressive. I'm totally into it this year. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, it sounds. I've never had. I don't cook turkey. I don't think I've ever cooked a Thanksgiving turkey. It went right from my mother and my uncle, like growing up ever, and then it went right into my now mother-in-law cooking a turkey. So we're just not allowed. We've offered on many occasions. I would imagine in some deep, dark, drunk, secret room type conversations, some of my relatives would say they would rather have me cook the turkey. Maybe, no offense to anybody. So, I'm jealous that you're cooking it, but on the spatchcock side of things, really has to decrease the time. It's not like a 15-hour project. You're cutting the backbone out, it lays flat. You going to brick that baby or no?
I didn't brick the one I just did, but I've done that plenty of times with chicken. So, I actually ended up cooking the gravy in a pan on the pit barrel to try to capture some of the juices. So it didn't get as many char marks as you potentially could if you cooked it without the pan the whole time. But that's a good idea. Maybe I will try that because, I don't know. It's, the main thing to do is I'd say get your butcher to do all the dirty work for you. Cause that's kind of the unfun part, and make them do that. My guy removed the backbone. So, it laid completely flat, excuse me. So I'd say, outsource as much of that as you can.
Robin Lindar is joining us here on the show. GrillGirl.com is the website. Let me ask you, in regards to Thanksgiving, the next day it's over, we're full bore Christmas, and then obviously you're continuing to write things. People are inherently going to be asking you about, what should I get my boyfriend for a grill gift or a gadget or something like that? Are you working on the newest version of Grill Girl gifts for Christmas or the holiday season?
Yeah, so every year I do what do I call it? That's like the gift guide for foodies or something like that, or the gifts guide for the grillers in your life or something like that. And I actually have kind of my old standards, like products I love that I will put into the list every year. And then usually people solicit for me to do reviews, and I'll say, hey, if I like it, I'll put it in the gift guide. So I've actually got a lot of stuff right now. If you can see, I've got a whole pile of stuff to tell you about if we have time.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So do we have time, Greg?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So my first one would be, I love Bourbon Barrel Foods. They smoke spices and recycled bourbon barrels from making bourbon in Kentucky. So it's kind of like a cottage industry there. But these spices are amazing. So it's smoked sea salt, smoked paprika, smoked pepper. They make smoked sugars. So everything that you put these spices into, it adds a really nice element of smoke and flavor, even if you grilled something or didn't even grill or smoke anything. So, and I think smoked paprika is like the thing any cook who likes to cook should have in their pantry.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's my first one. This seems cheesy, and I will just be cheesy, but anyone who grills a lot needs a headlamp.
Turn it on.
That's all I'm saying. I love having a headlamp. Usually the lighting in your backyard's crappy, and you're trying to grill and you can't see anything. And now it's daylight savings time, so there's less light. You're grilling in the dark more often. A headlamp is, you can get them at Home Depot if you just want kind of your basic ones by Energizer, or of course you can get a nicer one, but it's a great stocking stuffer for a griller. The next one I have, and we've talked about this a lot, Greg.
The Luftleiter. Yeah, love it. Love the Luftleiter. What the hell did you do to the top end of that thing? Jesus Christ, you broke it.
My uncle, who's a pyrotechnic engineer, broke it, actually. He lights up on fire for a living, and he was like, hey, I saw someone do this on a YouTube video, and he stuck to the end in the flame, and it melted. And supposedly aluminum melts at 600 degrees, so let that be a lesson. But this tool, it's like a hairdryer for your for starting a fire, and it will ignite the flame. It gets it so hot that literally, the charcoal will ignite. And I don't know if you've used it, Greg. I think we've talked about it, but I think it's awesome. I mean, yeah, it's more expensive than using paraffin cubes or a chimney starter, but if for the person who likes gadgets and has a lot of gadgets, it's the bomb. Yeah,
and it's a beer opener.
Yes, and it's a beer opener. And it just looks cool when you're hanging out with friends, and it just looks cool when you're out. Here's another stocking stuffer, and this is really wise knowledge for all of you guys. You're going to appreciate me all season long for telling you about this. But my girlfriend, Vicky, who I sail with, Scott and I have a sailboat, and we sail a lot, and there's a lot of rum drinking that goes on at the after parties. So this is called Gymnema, and it's an Ayurvedic herb. And if you take it before a night of drinking, especially, like sugary drinks or wine, it actually eats the sugar in your system and eliminates getting a hangover the next day. I mean, you may be tired, but you won't feel like total caca.
Right, caca.
So this is a great stocking stuffer, or maybe you just pick it up at the drugstore before holiday season because you're going to go to a ton of parties.
That's right. Jeez, you got a lot of stuff. Good for you.
This is called the Flame Boss, and I may or may not be putting this in my gift guide because I haven't had a chance to use it yet. But it's like a competitor to the Barbecue Guru. It keeps your fire going when you're smoking stuff. This guy's from Florida that makes it, and I'm from Florida, and he reached out to me, and I'm all about supporting my Florida peeps, so I said I'd review it. But I actually haven't. I've been traveling so much, I haven't had time to smoke anything and test it out. So I'll be testing that out this weekend. But so Flame Boss, keep that in mind, you guys. And if you have feedback for me, let me know.
All right.
And then I have one more. Actually, I have two more. We have, this is so cool. I love this.
It's the timer stick.
Time stick is so neat. And I used this last night cooking steaks. I was doing reverse sear, and I didn't want the sear to be on too long. And it was perfect because I usually use my iPhone for that. My husband said he's going to use it for his starts when he's racing sailboats, but it's just a really cool gadget. I think this would be a perfect stocking stuffer, maybe even for the person who's already got a Thermopin or the chef alarm. But this is neat, and it's kind of, and it's inexpensive, so it's a good.
And you can do it. You can do it all with one hand.
Yeah, I mean it's on a lanyard, so
perfect.
It's awesome. Perfect. And last but not least, I like this company called Outdoor Gourmet. They do sustainably produced planks for grilling. I would appreciate all of y'all's support. Next week, I'm entering a contest for a recipe to get my own kind of like branded Grill Girl branded line of planks. So you guys check out for that. I'm going to be doing orange oregano chicken thighs on like smoked on a plank. But what's cool about these aren't your average plank. This is maple, and it's meant for putting like wheels of cheese on it. So you smoke the cheese and you can serve it at like a party. So imagine, you smoke the cheese, maybe it's like a brie, and then you sprinkle it with some like pecans and craisins and serve it with crackers, and you have this really cool presentation, and everyone's like, oh my God, Greg just smoked the cheese for dinner. It's so awesome. So that's actually something I'm going to be doing. We're going to have a party this year, and I'm going to be like presenting that and trying to look like a badass.
Well, that shouldn't be any problem for you. I mean, you're one of the most intimidating people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure. Robin Lindar is joining us here on the show. Again, the website, grillgirl.com, if you want to check it out. Robin, always appreciate the time, and we'll look for you again next month.
Absolutely. Have a good Thanksgiving,
All right.
Greg.
You too. Take care. There she is, grillgirl.com, if you want to check out what she's got going. There's a lot of gifts that could potentially be going in that bag. What was that, Flame Master?
Get that big stuff out of here.
Folks, let me talk to you about Fred's Music. Forget Fred's Music. How about just Tasty Licks BBQ? That's right, Tasty Licks Barbecue Supply. Fred Bernardo, longtime sponsor of the show, second longest running sponsor on the show, actually. And he's been on the show a number of times. He has an actual physical location in tropical Shillington, Pennsylvania. And then, of course, if you aren't able to stop by because maybe you live nowhere near said location, you got to go on the internet. No problem. A lot of people get skitty and giggity about getting on the internet and spending money. Let me tell you something. Fred is one of the most trusted retailers out there. He is carrying lines of products that many places that call themselves grill and barbecue shops, whether it be online or in a physical location, just don't have. They're not carrying Plowboys rubs. They're not carrying Oak Ridge brines and seasonings. They're not carrying Smoke on Wheels products. They're not carrying Harry Sue's new chicken rub that got him Chicken Team of the Year last year. They're not carrying anywhere near the capacity of Big Green Egg products, cookers, and or otherwise accoutrements for the Big Green Egg. You can find them all at TastyLicksBBQ.com. That's TastyLicksBBQ.com. Plus, you should subscribe to his newsletter as well. He sends it out a couple times a week. Like right now, there's a big push going on the turkey brining kits. It's an all-in-one package. You go to his website, you order it, boom, it ships out to you, and you're going to have everything you need to brine a turkey as Fred would do it himself. Speaking of Fred himself, get on that website for crying out loud and watch those YouTube videos. I mean, you think I do a lot of videos. This guy is fun. He is lively, outrageous, but more importantly, he is disseminating quite a bit of quality information within the videos themselves. You can find them all at TastyLicksBBQ.com. That's TastyLicksBBQ.com. You can also call them toll-free, 800-677-2882. That's 800-677-2882. Tell them you heard about Tasty Licks right here from the Barbecue Central Show, and you might get hooked up with something, a little extra something. TastyLicksBBQ.com. All right, we're wrapping up the first hour. Right after this, stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we're back, wrapping up the first hour. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Maybe you didn't know, but congrats to Neil Big Mr. Straughter on an opening of his, or signing of a new barbecue restaurant. Forthcoming, I guess, as my little bird John Dawson told me. From what I understand, it is a Arby's. You know, they smoked their brisket for 13 hours. In the words of Neil, I don't even smoke my brisket for 13 hours. That's crazy. You know, that's Neil doing Tracy Morgan. I'll be here all week. All right, we're going to reload for the second hour. In that hour, you will find such fun items as Ed Hamlin, athlete or porn star, iGrill mini giveaway, Dizzy Pig gift set 4-pack giveaway, 25% off if you use the promo code BBQ Central. We'll talk about that and a little bit more. Give me about 35-40 seconds to reload, and we'll stretch here into the second hour. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Network.
Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine, how you doing?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan. So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 54 wieners.
But listen, Lavernius, shake a face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Ooh, top men.
All right, just like that, we're in the second hour. Get it on, gotta get it on. Got no choice but to get it on. Did you see the money for the regular roast beef? No. I ordered a Coke from Arby's and just ask for 10 horsey packets. I am that guy. Chad, my wife Becky, huge horsey sauce fan. Huge. Oh. All right. Lots to get to. Thanks again to Robin Lindars for joining me on the show. Just this past segment. And then at 9:14 we had Steven Reichlin joining us as well. Let me get back to this take. Every year, kind of right about this time, I start putting out there for public consumption that if you are looking to run for the KCBS Board of Directors and you're looking to get on an impartial forum, I have said on many occasions, roughly 758,000 times, because I get this request all the time. You don't support Competition Barbecue. You're not a KCBS member. You're not an FBA member or an IBCA member, blah, blah, blah. That's by design, fool, because I don't want to be taken as a shill or a homer or a pigeon for any sanctioning body. So instead of joining all of them, I join none of them and can affectionately call myself a impartial forum. I have no bias. I have no dog in the fight. Now, every once in a while, I might have an opinion on certain things that are happening in a sanctioning body here or a sanctioning body there, but that's what they pay me the big bucks for, to have an opinion and share it with the rest of the people to incite dialogue. Not violence, dialogue. So if you are looking to get in touch with me about the fact that you would love to be on the show and do a segment about your candidacy for the upcoming KCBS Board of Director elections that'll be taking place shortly, just reach out to me. Shoot me an email, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com, and then just let me know that you're interested in coming on. It's going to be about a 14-minute segment. It's the same time slot that Robin was in just a minute ago, and typically that runs for about 13, 14 minutes. Typically things that we like to cover, background on you, what you think is not working right with the board of directors currently, and more importantly than that, your platform, how you think you are going to be able to influence change, win hearts and minds, and bring the Democrat and Republican parties together. Fine. No, I'm sorry. That is incorrect. How we're going to be able to keep Competition Barbecue moving forward on into the future. Just let me know. More than happy to have you. All right, so I made a big announcement last Wednesday, which was this. Now for your meat buying pleasure, I have opened the Barbecue Central Show Meat Shoppy. All you competitors and backyard cooks out there, you now have access to the best briskets, ribs, pork butts available on the market today. Things to remember while you consider using the Barbecue Central Meat Shop. I've done all the legwork here. I've vetted the company out that I have partnered with. You can be confident that you're dealing with a very reputable business. They're actually providing competition meats to some of the top teams out there in the industry right now. And they're doing it very well. They're doing it proudly. And I have also re-vetted out the teams that say that they're using this company, and have had nothing but great things to say as well. So feel confident knowing that your orders are going to be handled in the professional way that they should be. Now, no more chasing all over the internet in order to find all the places that have different stuff. This is all under one roof. It's all been taken care of in that regard. Now, while you hear it thrown about like so much human feces, my meat partner has actual, legit, certified, and I can prove it, Kobe beef. That's right. Limited, expensive. You know, if you're on the cheap, you don't want this. This is expensive stuff. But don't fall for the gimmicks and the marketing hype and all that other crap. This is actual Kobe, like Tamaji Kobe beef stuff. So, just if you got the money, visit the website. And you can visit thebbqcentralshow.com and then click on the Barbecue Central Meat Shop at the top right of the page. Simple as that. Very excited to be able to bring you, men's and women's of the barbecue and grilling world, an outlet for some great meat. Barbecue Central Meat Shop. Want some incentive? Order some meat. Email me a copy of the receipt, and I will send you out a free bottle of barbecue sauce. I'll do that for you. You got to send me a receipt. Legit. Don't quit. All right, let me get to this real quick. This was making the rounds on the interwebs recently. Now, look, I think I have made zero bones about it that my undying, fervent hate of one McRib.
Get that big stuff out of here.
This is what it looks like in the raw state. That very top picture, it looks like a white, which would signify frozen, pork-ish product with a stamped pork ribs shape to it. And then, case by case by case. I mean, it just looks absolutely breathtaking in its raw form. And then you can see underneath it after they cook it, and they dress it up with the ever-popular onion slices and pickles, which everybody eats with their rib sandwich. It's back out in, I believe, limited release. I don't know exactly why this particular picture is causing, any more of an uproar than it would normally. I mean, it doesn't look really that much better cooked, except that it is covered up in that barbecue sauce, which is probably, when you break down all of the elements, the bun is probably the best thing. The barbecue sauce is probably the second best thing, and it's all downhill from there. I've never been a fan of raw onion slices. I'm not a big fan of the dehydrated onions that they use on their burgers as well. I could do without those onions altogether. But the fact that they jam it all up and top it with pickles, that is very odd to me. I really don't get that whole thing. I don't understand where that flavor profile hits. And again, obviously, I am out of the minority, as we all are here in the barbecue and grilling industry, folks, because the majority of people love the McRib, and it has been marketed in such a brainchild way. It's here, and then it's not. It's here for a short period of time. It is gone for long periods of time. And somehow every time that thing comes back, it draws people back in like it's the very first time they ever sank their teeth into a steaming pile of barbecue poop. And they love it. They eat poop, and they like it. That's the bottom line here, folks. The mass-consuming public is still unaware of what is good barbecue. And typically it doesn't come from a fast food joint, especially one that has frozen pork-style product. I mean, that's not a rib. I mean, you look at that frozen patty, that's not a rib tip. It's not a brisket end off of the backside of a spare ribs. I mean, it's not ribs. Rib tip sandwich. That's not it. You want a rib tip sandwich, go to Cigars and Stripes over there in Chicago with Ronnie Lotz. My man Ronnie. We're going to have Ronnie back on to be talking some barbecue, so don't you worry about that. A lot of people were scared I'd never have him back on again. Oh, I'm going to have Ronnie Lotz back on again. Guy was dynamic, to say the least. So the McRib is back. Email from Guy Shields before we wrap up this opening segment of the second hour. Hey, Greg, just stumbled across your show. 24 hours of barbecue. Anyway, just wanted to say hi from Australia. Hope you're enjoying your Pepsi. Cheers, Guy Shields. Now that I think about it, I might have read that email last week. That's my bad.
Get that big stuff out of here.
That's also one of my least favorite sayings. My bad. Yeah, right. Coming up on tomorrow's show, confirmed, Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue, for the Ask Dr. Barbecue segment. We're going to be covering a lot of things that have to do with Thanksgiving stuff. So not necessarily, it's a cooking segment. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a cooking segment. All right, folks, because Thanksgiving is being impeded upon by Christmas, whether it likes it or not, on its very holiday. Another holiday is impeding on another holiday's day, not to be redundant. So let me remind you that make this the year that you really step up the game and you go jewelry. Do it. Make it the year. For yourself, for your wife, your boyfriend, same-sex lover, whatever the case may be. And you're going to do it at this location, StephenDeFranco.com. You're going to do it at this number, 943-2700. That's 440-943-2700. And peruse the inventory. Relax, hang out, find what you like, then dial in, 440-943-2700. Ask for Steve. Once you get him on the phone, say, hey, Steve, this is what I'm looking at. What can you tell me about it? Is this the right choice? Is that the right choice? I'm trying to make this emotion come across, or I'm trying to present this feeling when I give this gift. He's going to ask you things like, do you want it engraved? Do you want this model, that model? What's the budget? Here's the best thing. You're getting counsel when you talk to anybody, even, of course, Steve, but, if you just walked in at the store, maybe you're local, and you stop in at the corner of 91 and 84, and there in the East Gate, Pine East, whatever the plaza is. It's a plaza at the corner of 91 and 84. You're going to get counsel. You're not going to get sold. You're not going to get talked into something that you don't feel comfortable about. Steve or the staff is just going to kind of be on that road along with you, answering questions that you might have, giving you information to make a decision that is comfortable for you at the end. That's what it's all about. Not only does he want your business, while you're there, he wants to earn it down the road, introduce you to your kids, when you get old enough to make them customers of Steve. It's an ongoing family-style relationship. So why would you bother going to the chain stores in the mall where you're paying for huge overhead and you got some smoky and a off-rack suit who sucks and he's got more hair gel on his hair than he's got brains in his head. He's just looking to make a commissionable dollar. Forget about it. You deal with Steven DeFranco. You tell him I sent you. You will reap the rewards from then on in a lot of different places, if you know what I mean. 440-943-2700. That's 440-943-2700 or StevenDeFranco.com. We're back with Ed Hamlin of Grill Inventions right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we are back. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Our next guest has been on the show a few times over the years. Outside of the box thinker. Someone looking to bring indoor capability of cooking to the grill and found success with the grill plate. Let's head on over to the hotline and welcome Ed Hamlin of Grill Innovations here on the show. Ed, how are you, buddy?
Good, Greg. How you doing, buddy?
Doing absolutely fabulous, Ed. Appreciate you making time for the show tonight, kind of on short notice. Let's start here. I guess maybe for the people, I did this with Robin a couple minutes ago in the first hour, but for the people that maybe haven't trolled all the way back through the archives of the show and found the first time that we came together, a little background about you, kind of what you're into professionally, and how you got into the whole Grill Innovations deal.
Well, to make a long story short, I burned a meatloaf cooking for my guys at work, and we do a lot of things with cars and boats. I was a troubleshooter for General Motors. So whenever we get in a situation I can't do something, I always figure out a way to get around it. And the grill plate was one of those answers that was allowing us to be able to do basically anything we want to do on a grill that you can do in an indoor kitchen. So we came into a couple little challenges here and there, and we've taken a grill plate to some different places. We've got another product called the Zone Griddle that we want to get out there to you. Actually, I want to get one to you pretty soon. We're still working on the logistics of getting it made and affordable. Been doing some traveling, a little bit of cooking, a little bit of crazy stuff. But I love the show.
Ed Hamlin joining me here on the show. All right, so as far as the grill plate is concerned, you love to cook, as you said. You're cooking for your guys. You want to cook on the grill. You want to do a lot of things that you could do in the oven on the grill. So, I mean, obviously you're the tinkerer and you're the antithesis of me. Like, I could never come up with that. I need you to do that for me. So, like, how many revisions was the grill plate, and how many lives did it have before you were like, hey, this is something we can take to market. Let's go look to get it produced?
Basically, it's had one revision. It was changed where we put some dimples on the top so we can continually cook on it. And the deal was that I never thought that anybody would do more than just cook one thing on it and be done with it. But as more things came about, and, you got a hot day and a hot grill, and you got hungry people, you want to get some things out. So you just constantly just tossing it on there. the nice thing about it is it's like an oven. So you get something done and you pull it out and toss it down for somebody. You're not standing there flipping burgers. You can sit back and you know, have a cocktail or 5 with your buddies, and you know, nobody ever stands in an oven and watches it. So it makes it a lot of fun.
Now, so you can obviously do a lot of different things on here. We've done in the past the grill plate challenge where listeners would submit recipes for you to make things on the grill plate. You know, is that something that you still do? And I guess secondarily to that, what was like the most challenging thing that you ever saw? Well, at least recipe-wise, you were like, oh, shit, what am I going to do here? And then how did it come out?
Well, we've had 3 that were pretty interesting. One of them was, I was telling somebody, I said, I don't really understand why people don't get this. I cook potatoes in cheese. I make au gratin potatoes on direct heat right on the grill. Nobody gets it, but they lose their mind over cookies. And this guy looks at me and says, well, can you make a burger on that thing without flipping it? And I said, yeah, that's how I invented it. I made a 5-pound hamburger. It's called a meatloaf. And he says, well, can you make a hamburger without flipping it? So I said, well, either he's an idiot or he's a genius. And I know he's no idiot. So we made burgers 1.5 inches thick and cooked them in 17 minutes without flipping them. And the amazing thing is they gain another 1/4 inch because nobody's squeezing down on them. And we've got pictures and we've cut them open. And then another person says, well, can you do a creme brulee on the grill? And I'm going, yeah, that won't be any problem. So, but you know what? We'll do the topping, the sugar that gets caramelized with no torch. We won't be that easy on ourselves. So we did that. And then after that, I couldn't get a challenge. I couldn't buy a challenge from anybody. Nobody give me anything. And I started thinking, I said, how about we do cookies on the grill in half the time of the oven? So we went out and bought some store-bought cookies that were supposed to take 15 minutes to do, and 7.5 minutes later, we had them done at the grill. But instead of 350, we started them at 450. And that's been kind of the end of the challenges, except for this last weekend at the Pool and Spa Show.
So, I mean, what about that? I mean, because I was talking about in the open, you know, that you are doing some food challenges, or you're going to, you know, events where there's competitions for cooking. And obviously this is something, you know, it's good for you in a marketing standpoint. You show up, people see how it works. You know, whether you win or not, people are seeing it in use. But, hey, guess what? Now you're winning with it, too, which has got to, you know, really attract people. If they were on the fence, this might actually push them over.
You know, the great thing is that, you know, all us guys stick together. Everybody in barbecue and outdoor grilling, you know, we all kind of a little team. Well, we'll just kind of say that when we went to go do this little show, this was right at the time and events of the World Food Championship. Well, one company decided they were going to bring in somebody who was on Top Chef, who has his own restaurant, who's going to have his own TV show. And I heard in the background that basically he said he was going to wipe the floor with us because we were nobody. And that's to everybody. Everybody there was cooking. So I kind of took that as he doesn't know who he's playing with just yet. So I like to cook. I do a lot of indoor cooking. I do a lot of different things. So I knew that he was going to be doing either steak or, you know, pork or something. So we decided to take it way, way out of the box. And we made a dueling lasagna on the grill plate because naturally I can bake. So I've got this oven, basically. I made a white seafood Alfredo lasagna, and basically that's it.
Yeah.
We did, it looks good.
Now, this is obviously before it started cooking.
Exactly. That was, we'd done the sauce, and we did a regular Alfredo sauce. We did shrimp, crab, and lobster. Did some thin sliced portobello mushrooms that we put in there also. And a chèvre goat cheese, and that topping that's on there is a panko infused breadcrumb, panko breadcrumb with an infused white truffle oil. So it gives a kind of a earthy, mushroomy kind of flavor. And then we did a straight lasagna side by side, and we split it with a U8 shrimp. And the shrimp, when somebody says U8, that means that there's 8 tails to a pound. So they're pretty big shrimp, and we basically got a perfect score, and he got a little upset that he didn't spank us like he thought he was going to.
This is obviously the finished plate that we're looking at.
Yeah, that's actually after the judges started eating on it. I said, hey, man, can I grab a quick picture of that real quick? So,
Man,
that was it.
Yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. And but, I mean, like you said, a perfect score for best in food category. So, in the end, it's showing your cooking prowess, but, maybe top chefs shouldn't be running their mouth in the back in case that kind of gets around a little bit because, what did he come up and congratulate you after the fact, or did he run right out with his tail between his legs?
Well, he was a little soured, and he came up and said, "Well, that's pretty, cool. Didn't get a chance to taste yours, like he was going to make a judgment himself." And I said, "Well, they're over there, so you can come have it. Everybody here's been eating them because we just did the small sample." And then after that, he said he would stop by the next day. And now this is really this little funny joke. He was talking about, well, I did hollandaise sauce on my, my steak and this and that. And I said, well, I do hollandaise sauce in a frying pan. And he goes, what? And I go, yeah, I show everybody how to do this hollandaise sauce. And in fact, I do a Key West lime hollandaise. So I use Key West lime juice instead of lemon juice. And the recipe is so simple. It's just like making scrambled eggs. So I go in and showed it to him, and he's like, dude, I'm totally stealing this. And I said, okay, fine. And I thought we were going to kind of be buddies. And then I heard some other comments about wiping the floor with us, and he should have won. And I said, dude, it's a blind taste test. They know who it was coming from. So, here you go.
Ed Hamlin joining me here on the show. Website grillinnovations.com. That's grillinnovations.com if you want to check it out here while we're talking. We showed it up while Ed was recounting his solid victory at the Pool and Spa show here just recently. You know what? If we strip away the products and the grills and grill innovation stuff, I mean, it's obviously very safe to say that you're a pretty intense foodie. And at the end of the day, while all that stuff is great, you still need to be able to create recipes and execute this stuff when the time is right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, does your love of cooking just come from, later in life where you had to learn to cook, to eat, to live? Or did you grow up in a household where everybody's in the kitchen and getting your hands in it and all that good stuff?
The whole truth is basically I would go out and years and years ago, you take your date out and go somewhere and say, well, I want to try something new and, taste some really good food. And you go out there and taste something and, it would cost a bunch of money and you're like, it really wasn't that good. And then you start experimenting and you learn a little bit. And the whole thing about cooking is just knowledge and chemistry. So, in my field, I got to know electronics and physics and hydraulics and, everything else. So a little bit of chemistry is really not that hard. And then as you start playing things and putting them together, you find certain flavors go together and certain tastes go together. So it moves along that way. And, the thing is to be able, what I like to do is be able to get everybody outside, everybody inside together so they can all learn from each other. I was talking to Ray Lampe at the World Food Championships, and I told him, I said, Ray, I'm weak in the smoke part, can you teach me some more? So we were talking to Ray for a while, and, he taught me some things and said some things. And so I've got that cranking around in my head. So I'm listening to that and paying attention and learning, and, I'll get better at the smoke thing. And, we'll keep teaching anybody we can, what we can and how we can. And we'll all go together as a happy family. And, if you get somebody out there that's one of those indoor snobs, point in my direction, because I'll give them something they won't even expect.
Ed, as far as products are concerned, you mentioned you said it was the Zone Griddle.
Yeah, that's
Tell me
really
about
cool.
that. What is that about?
What the Zone Griddle is my interpretation of having everything that you need. The grill plate is basically a component that will turn your grill into a convection oven, and you can broil with it if you turn up the heat high enough. That's how we do the creme brulee and stuff. The Zone Griddle is the exact opposite of the grill plate. And what it does is there's 4 squares on the bottom of it. and it's 18 inches by 13 inches, and it's got a grease trap that goes all the way around the outside of it. So what happens is I've got the ability to turn on, say, the two right burners, turn them all the way up, and I can pull 530, 540 degrees on the right side while it's searing steaks, and on the left side of the griddle, put my fingers on the griddle because it's only 130 degrees. Or I can crank up both sides and make it hot all the way across. I've got this gigantic grease trap all the way around, so I can do whatever I need to do there. Or I can flip it upside down and block the heat with the flat part of the griddle and, make a turkey or a cake or pies or whatever on the squares, kind of like it's in the oven. Now, it's not convection, but it works. So it gives you a multitude of different things for people to say, well, I'm not really looking to bake. I want to do something different. And we're in a process right now of trying to get that price pinned down and get some manufacturing, because it's just a little expensive to make right now. We've got the grill plate at $90. And some people go, well, I don't want to spend that much. And I go, well, an oven for $90 is pretty cheap. And I'm looking at the griddle, trying to get that down so we can be in that $70, $80 range right now. It just hasn't quite made it there just yet. Also on our website, we've got some videos up there. You'll actually be able to go in and see the videos on the website where we've got the Zone griddle and we've got all the other things floating around out there. We've got some things where we did with a gentleman named Barry Fast that is doing a grilling cookbook. And, we want to get some things out there. But I promise you, Greg, I'm going to get you one of these plates so you can play with it, because I think you're going to really enjoy it.
As far as the ability to go 500 degrees on the right side and then, gradually stepping down, how is it not just getting residual heat to how are you not having residual heat carry over from one side to the next, I guess is a better question.
What happens is the squares are actually trapping the heat. So what we're doing is we're setting the two burners on the right on full high. And there's a heat bleed basically that runs down the center of the griddle where the squares aren't actually touching each other. And as the heat comes up, they get trapped in those squares. So it slowly will work the heat up. I mean, if you put it on there for 3 or 4 hours and don't cook anything, the left side will start getting hotter. It's going to take that heat from the aluminum and walk down. But if you're cooking anything, it's going to act like a heat sink. So it's going to hold that heat right there, get it seared really nice and tight. And then the left side literally will be a very easy, gentle variable up and down the scale. I think on one of the demos we've got there, we were pulling 530 something degrees on the right side where the steaks were searing, and we got down to like 122 on the left side. That's only 18 inches away.
Yeah, I mean, when I was watching the video, I was like, man, he is literally at 500 degrees and doing steaks, and then you had like, onion slices that you were just looking to kind of slowly saute in butter, and you drop that butter on one side, it was, nice and melty, how you would want it to do onions and mushrooms, and then you just scrape it off towards the higher heat, boom, vaporized, it was gone. So, I mean, it was visually, you're able to see how hot it is on one side versus the other.
Yeah, we actually entered that in the HPBA show for a Vesta Award as a new and upcoming product. And the only thing that bothered me, we got, a nice nomination, but we lost. You know what we lost to?
No.
This is a new innovation that nobody's ever seen before. It's a pizza oven. Yep. We lost a pizza oven because nobody's ever made a pizza oven before, ever. So,
hey, when nobody's ever done it ever, chances are slim, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll think of something up next time, and we're going to get a couple more items going. We've been working with a couple of Komodo companies, and I'm learning more and more about the Komodo style grills, and especially their deal. Excuse me. Their deal where once they get up to temperature, they can't bring them down. In other words, if they cook them for a long period of time. We're doing some experiments with a couple of grill companies, Sapphire Grill, Grill Dome, a couple of those guys, and we were doing air fried chicken. And this is something I started doing on my grill because the ability to be able to broil with the grill plate. And what we do is we bounce it up there about the 550 degree mark with the grill plate down, and then we've got a pan that's underneath, or basically on top of the grill plate, and a wire rack that's upside down, and it literally fries the chicken with hot air. So the chicken is really moist inside, but the skin is crispy like a bacon. It's an unbelievable texture, but you can only get it by having heat being shedded straight down on top of it and keeping it out of the grease and, flame ups and stuff. One important thing, if you guys ever think about doing this, your catch pan, make sure you have it full of salt. Because you got 550 degrees come rolling down on top of it.
Yeah.
Let's see, 550 degrees and grease is grease fires.
Yeah, for sure. I'm getting a question in instant chat here, Ed, and then I'll let you go. Will this product work with a live pellet fire, like with a fire pot on one side and not on the other?
As long as it can take the heat and push it, it doesn't care. So basically, if you're smoking or you've got that heat coming in, and it's 350 and you're controlling it, and it's coming in from the bottom or wherever where it can roll it around, because that's what it's looking for. It wants to take that heat from the bottom and push it out and around and up over the top. However that happens, that'll work. It won't work on a Sabre because Sabres don't let the heat rise up. It's that infrared grill, and they won't work from there.
Ed Hamlin joining me here on the show. Website again, grillinnovations.com. That's grillinnovations.com. Ed, always appreciate the time, man. Continued success. Let's do it again soon.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate it. And I'm going to get up with you with some of those zone grills.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
Ed Hamlin joining me here on the show. Grill Innovations, if you are interested in checking it out. I actually had, one of the first grill plates ever. Well, I mean, not the first one, but one of the first ones. And I actually still use it. You got to make sure that... I don't want to say, it's not going to work well if you have a crappy grill, but we all know about crappy grills, right? So you're warned. But it works as advertised, which is good. I can say that as someone who has used it. I've seen, I actually had the Dimple revision one, and, it's gone back smooth as well. So very looking forward to getting the Zone Griddle test as well. All right, folks, let me talk to you about R&O Smokers. We were going to have Robbie Pettigrew on tonight. That didn't work out.
Get that big stuff out of here.
We will get him reloaded for probably next week or the week after, or however it works into his schedule. We're going to be talking about the R&O Smokers R&O Shootout Cook-Off. It's going to be a barbecue contest that they're very excited about, and we're going to talk to Robbie about that. He's really instrumental on getting that thing up and running. And then he's going to be talking to us about the R&O product itself. So we'll be looking forward to that. Now, what you need to know is that R&O Smokers is in Granbury, Texas. They're a custom pit builder of both offset and vault-style pits. Vault's obviously becoming very popular these days. Many different manufacturers out there making them. But through, the vision and the planning and the engineering, R&O kind of sets itself apart from some of those other pits out there. Plus, you don't really have the huge, hefty price tags that you would normally find with some of the more well-known pit makers. On top of that, or coupled along with that, you're not going to find those extensive wait times either. So while it will take some time for you to get your pit because, everybody wants a custom pit now, you're not going to be paying that hefty price tag, and you're going to get a little, some sooner than some of those other guys out there. So give R&O Smokers first consideration when you are looking to buy a cooker. You can email Tony Belay, TONY_Belay, no, not Tony Belay, just Tony, TONY_RO Smokers at yahoo.com. That's Tony_RO Smokers at yahoo.com. He'll answer any questions you might have. And he's actually using them on the competition trail and winning with them on the competition trail. He's had a very good year. And what can I tell you? You check them out. Get to their Facebook page by visiting my Facebook page. click on the logo, go to the sponsors page, go to the links page. That will link you over to their Facebook page, and you can hang out, see what the latest and greatest updates are. And you can also have a chance to win some barbecue stuff from their barbecue partners as well. Arno Smokers, proud sponsor of the show. Happy to have them. We're back with some fun games for prizes, like an iGrill Mini and a Dizzy Pig gift set. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs. And the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
He kicks tires and he lights a fire. He's queuing all night, well, he never grows tired. Slow smoke meat.
877-448-0433. Start calling if you want to win a iGrill Mini. We're not just going to be giving away one through the emails. We're going to be giving an iGrill Mini away. What is the iGrill Mini? Let me help you out with that, in case you want to play. Athlete or porn star, your chance to win an iGrill Mini. It's the next generation of iGrill. You can get on pre-order at iGrill Mini. iDevicesinc.com/iGrill. It's $40, the iGrill Mini. Everything you love about the iGrill, so much more, with smart LED that indicates the progression of your temperature and lets you know when you are in and out of temperature range. Proximity wake up to conserve battery life and outstanding battery life of 150 hours. You get all these awesome features in a pocket-sized device at half the price of the original. It's $39.99 for the iGrill Mini with one meat probe and a probe wrap. You also get the magnetic mount. If you don't have something that will, that will hold the magnet, what can I tell you? All right, let's hit the phone lines and see who we got here. Who we got on the line tonight?
This is Phil.
Phil! How are you, Phil?
I'm doing good, you?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous, Phil. Appreciate you asking. And give me 1 second here while we get all the proper stuff loaded in, like music for the... Here it comes. All right. This is a game for the iGrill Mini. You're aware of, obviously, what the iGrill Mini is, right, Phil?
Yes.
All right, and you're aware of the game we're about to play. It's called Athlete or Porn Star. I am going to give you a name, and after I'm done giving you the name, you have 5 seconds to tell me if it's an athlete or a porn star. You get 2 in a row correct, you are a winner. Ready to go?
Okay.
All right, Phil. Here we go. First name. Capri Cavelli, athlete or porn star?
Porn star.
Absolutely correct. Porn star she is. All right, Phil, you could win it right here, right off the bat. Athlete or porn star? Phoenix Marie.
Athlete.
Oh, no! We
Tricked you.
Again.
Phoenix Marie, a porn star. Believe it or not. All right, area code 407. Who's this?
Matt.
Matt? Hi, Matt. How are you tonight, buddy?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Great to listen to the show.
Hey, thank you. All right, Matt, we're going to play athlete or porn star for your chance to win an iGrill Mini. Are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. First name, Riley Steele, athlete or porn star?
Porn star.
Absolutely correct. Obviously, Matt knows his porno. Next name, you get this one right, you get the free iGrill Mini. And the name is Jelena Jensen, athlete or porn star?
Athlete.
Oh, no!
No.
We suck again.
Sorry. Jelena Jensen is a porn star. All right, we go to area code 516. Who's this?
Hey, you doing, Greg? It's Don G.
Don G, of course, master of porno. I think we all know that.
Oh.
This is going to be tough. All right. On the line tonight, Don, an iGrill Mini. Are you ready?
We are ready. Rolling.
First name. Chanel Preston. Athlete or porn star?
Sounds like a setup. I'm going athlete.
Oh, no! We suck again!
Sorry. Porn star. Chanel Preston, porn star. I swore she played football. She played football. What are you talking about? All right, area code 734. Who's this?
Chris Sorrell.
I'm sorry, who's this?
Chris Sorrell.
Hey, how are you? All right, are you ready to play athlete or porn star for a free iGrill Mini?
Sure.
All right.
I probably get wrong, but why not?
All right, here's your first name. Megan Vaughn, athlete or porn star?
Porn star.
Absolutely right. Oh, this guy knows his porno. All right, next name. Alana Ray, athlete or porn star?
Porn star.
Absolutely right. You son of a bitch. Couldn't trick you, a man who is a aficionado of the porn. All right, so here's what you need to do. Send me an email, and in the subject line, put free iGrill Mini and include your shipping info. We'll get that sent over to the folks at iGrill, and I believe you go on a waiting list, so give it some time, but you will get a free one when they are available.
Hey, when it's free, no, you can wait.
Free iGrill Mini. You got it. All right, thanks for calling in tonight. There's your winner. All right, let's go to area code 908. Who's this?
It's David. How are you, Greg?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous, David. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
All right, somebody else just won the free iGrill Mini. But never fear, your chance to win a free 4-pack of Dizzy Pig gift rub. How about that?
Cool.
All right. We're playing athlete or porn star. You know how to play, David?
I do.
Of course.
I've lost here before.
That's right. All right, here we go. First name. Black Angelica. Athlete or porn star?
Porn star.
Absolutely right. All right. Next name. Lars Boom. Athlete or porn star?
Athlete.
Yes! David! Thought I would give you the Lars Boom, but nobody fooling David tonight. Both an aficionado of porno and sports. And thank goodness for that. All right, David, all you need to do is send me an email, your shipping info, and then put Dizzy Pig Rub winner. And I'll get that over to Brian over Dizzy Pig, and they will send that out to you.
Thanks a lot.
You got it. There he is. David winning. Showing his knowledge of both the skin and the sports. Very impressive. What is this? Right. Now, if you are interested in buying your own, where is this thing at? Get me to my inbox. Brian. All right, so here's what it is, by the way. This is the Dizzy Pig giveaway. Gift box 4. And you get an eye-catching, sturdy box with 4 of the top-selling rubs. Dizzy Rub, the Cowlick, the Raging River, and the Tsunami Spin, along with 7 samples of the other flavors. Dizzy Pig lapel pin, and a sticker, retailing for $25. But at checkout, if you use promo code BBQ Central, you will save 25%. Woohoo! 25%. That's a beauty now. That's a beauty. So if you didn't win, if your name is not David and you didn't win the Dizzy Pig Rub, you can go over to dizzypig.com and search Gift Box 4 for the holidays. You'll get the 4 top sellers plus 7 sampler packs and 25% off your order when you use BBQ Central. That will expire 12/31. I trust to have served you with this information. Maybe next week we'll have a new contest. You never know. Scale of 1 to 10. Athlete or porn star? 10. 4-pack. 4-pack with 7 samplers. You know, I just love this song by Milt Buckner. It just makes me takes me back to the late 40s and 50s. Be like a social deviant. All right, there you go. All right, so still to come on this show, not much. We'll do a read, we will recap, and then we will be out of here. I do want to thank Ed Hamlin for joining me this past segment. Look, if you are really interested in continuing to do the cooking outside, like in all facets, you know, some people get a little skeeved out. You know, news flash here, folks. My in-laws, while they have bought a new grill, put down aluminum foil because they don't really want it to touch the grill grate. So, you know, for me, you know, I might be thinking, you know, hypothetical. Maybe I would get them the grill plate for Christmas because, hey, you don't have to, you know, have the meat touch the grill. You put the grill plate down. You know, my mother-in-law could bake pie. My father-in-law could bake shrimp, or he's a big fisherman. He's catching the steelhead trout and perch. I think they catch perch as well in Lake Erie. And you can do that right there, right on the grill, and use the grill plate, and you don't have to worry about things touching anything. Dirty, skeevy stuff. None of you have to worry about that. Don't forget as well that the Barbecue Central Meat Shop is open. So if you are interested in taking a look at that while we're talking here tonight, just go to the Barbecue Central Show website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And then up towards the top right, there's a thing that says Barbecue Central Meat Shop. And you can link over there. I will tell you that the prices that you see do not include shipping. I believe I've made quite a bold notation at the end of the post in red. You'll need to fill out that very first page with some shipping info. And then when you go to that secondary page, it will give you shipping options. I've been told by the guy that actually owns this company that the FedEx 2-day is like the most economical way of shipping. And, you know, I don't typically do a lot of... All right, Matt with an update. Greg, how about talking about how Kent is kicking Ohio's ass? We won't talk about it.
Get that big stuff out of here.
Former Bobcat alumnus not talking about it.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Doing a show, Matt. What are you doing watching football? Tune in. Full. You could have won something earlier, except you were probably watching a stupid MAC football game. Who cares about that? Nobody. So I'm interested to hear from the competition people as well. If you order your meats offline, how does that compare price-wise? Would want to make sure that I am providing to the best of my ability. I mean, I don't really have control over pricing per se. But if it looks like, hey, I would buy X amount from you, but you are X amount higher, or the shipping is murder or whatever, hey, let me know. I'll go back to the people that I've partnered with and let them know why we're not making money together. I'm here to protect and serve. All right, last, we just gave one away this past segment, athlete or porn star. It's the iGrill. Next generation iGrill has arrived, kind of. You can now pre-order the iGrill Mini at iDevicesinc.com/iGrill for $39.99. The iGrill Mini has everything you love about the iGrill, so much more, with a smart LED that indicates the progression of your temperature and lets you know when you're in and out of that temperature range, proximity wake-up to conserve the battery, and an outstanding battery life of 150 hours. You get all these awesome features and a pocket-sized device at half the price of the original iGrill. It's $39.99 for the iGrill Mini with one meat probe and one probe wrap. The iGrill magnetically mounts to your grill or smoker and even comes with an attachable magnet in case you have a ceramic smoker or other non-magnetic surface. For instance, brick, wood, stone, and other magnetic things that aren't magnetic. A little info on the product itself. iGrill is Bluetooth-enabled cooking thermometer. It pairs with your Apple or Android device using the free iGrill Pro app, which can be downloaded in the iTunes App Store and the Google Play Store. Bluetooth range is up to 200 feet, so you can monitor your food from practically anywhere in your house. This gives you the free time to do what you need to do with the assurance that your food is being cooked perfectly. Go watch the game, have some brews with the boys, mow the lawn, soon enough, shovel the driveway. iGrill's got your food covered. iGrill has dual probe capabilities. You can monitor two different pieces of meat at once. You can also measure the ambient temperature of your smoker using the grill's ambient temperature probe that can be purchased at iGrillInc.com. Now, within the app, you can set minimum and maximum temperature settings. If your iGrill or smoker gets too hot or too cold, your smart device will alert you. Enter promo code CENTRAL at checkout for 15% off everything when you order it at the iGrillInc.com store. Don't forget they also offer free shipping on all orders over $50. The free iGrill app is the iOS Facebook integration, so you can upload pictures of what you're cooking right to the iGrill Facebook page. It also has a globe feature that shows you all the other iGrills around the world. iGrill, the main unit, $79.99. The new unit, $39.99. That's half. With some cool stuff. So check it out. iDevicesinc.com. That's iDevicesinc.com. $39.99 for your pre-order. Or get the regular iGrill at iGrillInc.com. And save 15% when you use Central at checkout. My ear device is dying. Battery's dying. We're back right after this.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right. Back at it. Had to lose the television IFB because the battery didn't want me.
Get that big stuff out of here.
I always forget how much better I sound with the cans on. For as cool as this thing is, and many of you probably don't realize that I have, that thing in my ear. That's how I hear people when I'm talking. Guests via the... How many times did I use this tonight? 0.
Get that big stuff out of here.
I was well on my way of remembering to use that thing, and then boom. I forgot. Didn't use it on one guest tonight. Not one. Thanks for coming. I want to thank everybody for playing Athlete or Porn Star. If you won, don't forget to send me an email and reference the specific item that you did win tonight in the subject line, greg@thebbqcentralshow.com. Let me double-check that here while we're... looks like everybody... All right, yeah, Dave's in and Chris is in as well. Congratulations to you both. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for knowing your porn and your sports. Porn more impressive, I think, in the grand scheme of things. We have a big show lined up for tomorrow. Dr. Barbecue Ray Lampe will be stopping by for his visit, plus I'm chasing many big-name guests for the Hump Day Barbecue Show, which is 1 hour in length. If you've never tuned into the Wednesday show, I highly suggest that you jump in. If you have a question for Ray that you would like to have him answer live on the show, you can do that by visiting the website askdrbbq.com, and then you can use the emails for me directly. You can go to my Facebook page and say, hey, I have this question I would like Ray to answer, or I would like your and Ray's opinion on this thing, or whatever the case may be. AskDRBBQ.com is the place to go, and we will take it from there. But Ray always making a weekly appearance now on the Wednesday show, and chasing a couple different guests. I'm not sure exactly how I want to structure it. I don't know if I want to go like too overkill in 2 days on Thanksgiving stuff. Steven Reichlin really blew it all up around the 9:14, giving us history and spatchcocking and brining techniques and talking about truffles and all this other stuff. We both agreed that Christmas coming into Thanksgiving, which I think we all knew was going to be happening, is ridiculous. People are going to be having to work on Thanksgiving. A lot of people work on Thanksgiving anyway, I guess. But still, if you were in retail, that's one of the few days that you had reprieve before, you had to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning to go work your retail job for Black Friday. But now you could be going on Gray Thursday or Maroon Thursday or Coral Thursday or whatever you want to call it. We should come up with something. I don't really like it. I don't. Shouldn't have to work. All right, let's wrap it up. All the way back in the first hour, again, it was Steven Reichlin. BarbecueBible.com, BARBECUE, BarbecueBible.com. Check it out. It's a complete revamped website. If you haven't been there in a year or two, lots of great info, constantly being updated. Well-known authority in this industry. Robin Lindars was on after Steven. GrillGirl.com with 3 R's, GRRRL, GrillGirl.com. Look for her upcoming gift suggestion basket box doohickey of 2013. She'll be spatchcocking her turkey this year. Maybe you should check it out. Maybe you should spatchcock your turkey. Ed Hamlin joined me at 10:14. GrillInnovations.com. Very unique product. And another one coming down the pike as soon as they can get manufacturing wigged out. As I said, big show lined up for tomorrow. Come back here at 9 o'clock on a Wednesday for a great time. Dr. Barbecue locked in. If you have raw cast iron, re-season it each and every time. Hit it with a brush as it starts to cool down. A little Pam, a little Crisco. Let it burn back in. Re-season it each and every time. Give you generations of rust-free service. Also, September 11th, 2001, I will never forget. We'll see you back here tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. This is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.